I'm from a small town of less than 1,000 people. It's called Mount Gilead, North Carolina. And I'm from a farm area. My grandparents were farmers. My dad was an auto mechanic, and I don't know exactly what led me into obstetrics and gynecology, but I can tell you that people had difficulty because most of the births were attended by midwives. They got to be quite a profession in our community. Um, and I got interested in medicine, I think, because people in our area did not go to the doctor that much. It was kind of a hit and miss type of thing. I got familiar with fertility bags we put around your neck and all that type of appointment, all that type of thing. And it was difficult. I had a hard time getting through high school, medical school. I finally got into medical school, and I was one of the few, I guess, in our class who were interested in obstetrics. I had an uncle who was birthed by one of the midwives, and he had a dislocated hip like I've got here now. And I learned that it was probably because it was a breech delivery, and it probably should have been a C-section. But when I got in med school, I got attached to the maternal health group, the obstetricians, gynecologists, and I became intrigued by it. There's guys who were doing pretty well financially too. And I decided to follow it up. I practiced general medicine for about 2 or 3 years in a small town, Wadesboro, not far from my age. And I saw a need for it. And I got into it and enjoyed it. I left the family practice in Wadesboro and went to Harlem Hospital. You couldn't find residences in the area for blacks in North Carolina at the time. But since that time, things have opened up quite a bit. Thank God. And I'm happy that we did. I'm sorry that I had to get out of it, really. But it was time. So I'm happy just to be here.
Yes.
And I thank the Lord for it.
So talk to me about the impact you believe that you made here in Mecklenburg County as it relates to Black maternal health. What difference did you make?
I'd have to think about this some. It's quite an honor for me personally. And I think it makes quite an impression on people, and especially my family. And I try to live up to it. It's quite an honor for a boy like me who's born in a country town, and people respect you more. And I enjoy it. And I hope I can set an example for those who are going to follow me. It means a lot to me.
What advice or message would you want to give young professionals in the field to help them advance birth equity in the obstetrical and gynecological field?
I think that I would like to leave a legacy that will set an example for them in the community and make it easier to become a part of the medical community. And by doing so, you can improve the outcome of a lot of pregnancies. And that would save some lives, and babies' lives too. And that would be enough of a legacy for me. And I would be very happy.
What else would you like for our audience to know? We will have an audience of physicians and midwives and doulas and nurse practitioners and community health workers, a little bit of everyone. What do you want to say to them, or what words would you like to leave them with?
I hadn't thought about that a great deal, but I would like for them to study hard and work hard. And if they did that, they should have enough income to sustain them and their families. And set an example for others to follow. And that way, I would be very happy and satisfied.
Well, talk to us about your legacy going forward. What would you want that to look like?
I look at the work I've done, see some of the children I've delivered, and I would like for them to see the Lord in me, because I've had to rely on Him so much. Pardon me, I get emotional. But I think that's very important, because there's time in life for everything. A time to study, a time to work hard, and a time to get out of the field. I'm reminded of an article written by Dr. Elizabeth Kenneth, who was on the medical board with me. And the article was, "Doctor, is it time? A time for you to get out of the practice of medicine and do some other things." At that time, we were having a lot of difficulty with doctors misbehaving in the field. I think it has improved a lot since I've retired from the board.
What does respectful maternal health care mean? What does that look like?
Oh, well, first of all, you need a healthy mother. And with that, you need a obstetrician who's well trained in the field, who is in good health. And then to be followed during the pregnancy by the obstetrician. I guess I have not had experience with midwives, but there is a place for that too. And I think that in itself can lead to good outcome for all pregnancies.
Right.
And the pediatric doctors nowadays are well trained, most of them. And if they don't, there are consequences.
What do you think you did differently than others did that allowed you to be so successful?
Well, I was new, and I was the first board-certified obstetrician gynecologist in the Charlotte area. And I was quite a novelty. And it helped my brother, helped me a lot too with his law practice. got introduced to a lot of I'm about to say wealthy, but no wealthy. They were wealthy to do it. The community, people who were successful in business.
What challenges did you face and have to overcome?
Yeah. Well, first of all, let me say that the other side of the coin, the white physicians were very suspicious initially, and there was a group who accepted me without a question, and there was a group that were kind of aloof, and it took a while to overcome that, and I'm not sure I was successful at overcoming all of those, but I found that if you trust in the Lord, do the best you know how to do, things will work out all right. And they did so far.
We are here, so it did work out. So please receive our love from our organization. We were delighted to know that you would be willing to allow us to be in your space and talk to you. And in April, we will be honoring you and showing this video to our audience and to the community so that you can continue to be celebrated. So know that we are grateful for all of your contributions and all of the past that you paved for us. We would not be doing what we do in this field if it were not for what you started. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome.